In this video, you guys are going to learn how to adjust perspective in an image. There's only so much that you can really do, but you can do a little bit of perspective adjustments. So we're going to take this train and we're going to try to put him on this track and maybe make it look like it's a little bit smaller at the end. To do this, we're going to start with a smart object. Notice that this train is separate. Okay, so it is a separate image from the background. And what we're going to do is we're going to go up here, and again, notice it is a smart object as well, so please make sure that it is a smart object. We're going to go ahead and save as. This is going to be bridge working, and then our last name, first name, PSD. It is already a PSD because this train has been cut out and put in there, so to maintain the layers, it must be a PSD. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go up here to Edit, and we're going to go down here to Perspective Warp. What we're going to do is we are going to draw how we want this train to be warped. And I kind of want it to start maybe about right here. Really don't want the beginning of that. I might have to move that down just a little. And we're going to go down to about the beginning of this track right here. I'm going to maybe move it just a little bit because I don't want to get that first part of the train in there. Okay, so we're going to have this. And then the book does not tell you this, but I have found that it definitely works better if you go ahead and check mark it. And then notice over in the layers panel, it says perspective warp. If we double click on perspective warp and then draw another perspective, it will actually stick. So we're going to go in here and we're going to draw a perspective. It's going to go straight across, so something from about here down to here. And it should kind of snap into place. And once we have two of these warps in here, we can actually change the perspective a little bit by moving this because we want this to be at an angle. So we're going to take this here and this to about, actually, let's go a little bit further this way so that it looks something like this. Okay. And then we are going to want our train to get a little bit smaller as we go back here. So we want it to follow the train track. So I'm going to make this kind of go back down here. I'm just going to follow this line here. I do want it to be smaller, so I'm going to just drag this down. Something about like that looks good. Okay. Once we get that done, I'm going to go up here and I am going to make sure that I have warp on. And I want this to be straight near the vertical line. So I do want to go ahead and check mark that. You can watch this little video so you can understand maybe a few things. Next thing I want to do is I want to manipulate this. So now if I start pulling on my edges of my warp, it will actually start manipulating the train that's in there. I'm going to take this down here. Want it to look something like that. Be careful not to, I don't want it stretched out too much, but I do want it to kind of look like it's disappearing. So we are going to have it just a little bit back here and make sure it looks like it's on the track. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is something that you can work with. I'm going to maybe move it forward a little bit so that this isn't so distorted. This is something that does come in handy, especially if you're doing compositing, putting different images together. So, and again, I can actually adjust this up front so it doesn't look so distorted here. When you're done and you get it to the satisfaction that you like, you can check mark it. And then the really cool thing is, since this is a smart object, you can, if you didn't like, if something is still feeling a little off, you can go in here and double click on it and still do adjustments. And that is using the warp to change your perspective.